Let's see, need to use my crochet blanket to pour this tea. This is not a very well thought out tea mug. Okay. Hello and welcome to the Knitting Traditions Podcast. My name is Inga and this is my little corner on the internet where I talk about my knitting. Today I have finished objects, several sweater whips, 2 blankets, an unboxing, a knit along that I'm joining that you can join, and a giveaway to show you. So settle in. We'll start with all the knits and then move on to the other good stuff. You can find me on Instagram as Knitting Traditions. I will put all the information about what I'm talking about, discount codes, links down below. On YouTube, there's a little sign like this that you can click and you'll find the information there. It's been a while. I feel like I've been wanting to record, but I just haven't had the right time or the right energy. I've been visiting my grandmother. I've gone to the cabin. I've been working quite a lot, but got off work. There is some daylight, not the best, but we'll make do. So we're gonna be recording now. And my hair is a mess because I got home, but that's what it is. And I am wearing my half and half triangles wrap, which is a free pattern by Purl Soho. This is the first one that I made, the big version in linen quill, oatmeal gray, and I don't remember the name of the green one, but it's a nice heathered one. I have mentioned it in many previous episodes. This is quite an old shawl by now. I like to wear it just for a little bit of warmth and comfort, as I am trying to embrace the spring summer by wearing a dress, but recording in the bedroom is cold, so wool is needed. Now, what I finished since last time. So this is a sweater that you will have seen if you've been following me. And gonna not throw everything on the ground. I have finished the 1994 Olympic sweater from Lillehammer. It's a free pattern by, it used to be Dollar Yarn. Now you can find the PDF on House of Yarn. And somebody shared a link for an English version of the pattern, so I'll be linking that below as well. It's an all-over colorwork, as you can see. I made the medium size. I made the version 2. So the versions are different color combinations. And the one I used is like a charcoal, almost black with white. And the 3 contrasting colors are red, yellow, and green. And I can put it on for you guys. So I made the medium. In the sample photos, it looks huge. So I went with my measurements with positive ease. So I made the medium. And for me, it fits perfectly. It's too small for my boyfriend to wear though. He really wanted this one. But it's too tight. And since it's also all over colorwork, it doesn't look too good if it's too tight. So I'm just gonna insert a video of me wearing this instead, so you'll have a better view. But I really like it. It was quite an addictive knit. The panels here are 3 different panels, and they were quite challenging to knit because every row was different, and it was different throughout the whole row, like over 100 stitches. There was no repetition, so you really had to look at the pattern as you were knitting. So keep that in mind if you want to do it. There isn't many very long floats, so that's nice. The upper part here So you can see the neckline kind of cuts into the color work. One way of doing that is you can just knit everything flat and then you would sew and cut, but this pattern makes you bind off stitches and then knit the sides back and forth. So you do have to purl while doing color work. It was fine though. It wasn't that much of the sweater where you had to do that. The sleeves are knit bottom up and then sewn in, so you do steek the armholes. And then the top is actually sewn together with garter bumps sticking out. So, and also on the sleeve. I did make a mistake. One of the sleeves has, this one has one extra row of black stitches. But I don't think it's very visible unless I point it out to you, I hope. What else can I say? So it's all over charts. So even if you don't know the language, if you don't want to use the English link, or if it doesn't work for some reason, it's all over charted. So you could do it with just knowing how many stitches to cast on and follow the charts, I think. If I were to do it again, I would probably go up a size or modify it, because as you can see on the sides here, the stitches don't kind of hold the repeat because there's too many stitches or too few. So I would probably increase, I would look at this sweater and I would increase so that this kind of stitch repeats all the way around. I think I would look into that. Just like a little modification to make it even more neat. The color work underneath here is not that important because the arm will cover it. The same for the sleeve, which is increased as you go up towards the armhole. Like this part is not that visible, but I think I would make it bigger so that this is like a nice continuous color work. Oh, I'm talking fast. I used 4mm needles to get gauge in the color work and 3mm for the cuffs on the bottom of the sweater and the sleeves. The neckline is color work as well, and then it has a garter row, and then you also knit a knit fabric that you fold down and sew down, tack down. I've never done a color work row of neckline like this before, so it's not a ribbing, it's actual color work, and you do some decreases here and here every few rows so that it goes in a little bit. I think it lies really nicely, even though it's not ribbed. I think it has a really nice shape and it adds a really nice detail. So I really love that. That's new to me, a new technique. I really like it. I did it 3 times because I did it wrong. So first mistake I made is I finished the color work chart here. And when I looked at the pattern, as I read on, because it says do this chart, and then it says at the same time later on that when you have 8 rows left or 4 rows left, something like that, of this chart, you're supposed to bind off. But that was kind of after a punctuation in the pattern. I know it's my fault. I should have read the pattern, but I just could not be bothered to unravel several rows of color work. So I just started the neckline after, I think I went back like 1 row. So where you see all the stitches are white, I think I just went back here and then I bound them off, if that makes sense. And then I knit back and forth, and then I did the neckline, and then I looked at the pattern and it said that I was supposed to have done the decreases here to make it go inwards. So that I did rip back because I thought I had put so much effort into this masterpiece of a sweater. This is my dream knit of all time. So I figured I didn't want the neckline to stand up and outwards too much, so I did pick it back and decreased like I was supposed to. And I think that was okay. And then as you're knitting the inside, you increase those stitches again that you did decrease. So it all looks nice. Oh, I'm so happy with this. And it's very soft to me, very warm. It's not a very rustic wool to me. This is the Cascade 220 non-superwash. It has the exact same specs as the original high-low yarn, which is no longer in production. The House of Yarn has recommendations for yarns to substitute it with, but I saw that the Cascade 220 was perfect. It was the same kind of composition and construction and meterage per 50 grams as the original yarn. And the colors were perfect as well. So I did that. And I've worn it skiing and a few days, and so far no pilling. I think because of the tight gauge and all of the color work kind of wrapping the yarn around each other helps decrease the pilling rate. I know a lot of people have said that it pills a lot. So far it's good. And if it pills, I'll just depill it. It's fine. It's such a busy sweater anyways that if there's little pilling, it's not super visible because there's so much going on. Maybe there's like a little bit more fuzz on the inside of the sleeve compared to the outside. I'll just depill it. It's fine. I really enjoyed this yarn. I would like to work with it again. I really liked it for color work. What I have left is this much of the green colorway and this much of the red. So I really didn't use that much of the contrasting colors. This much of the yellow. For comparison, this is a full skein of white. So I didn't even use half, I would say. And I have this much left of the charcoal, and I still have a bit left of the white. So I think I got the recommended amount of yarn, but as you can see, I have more of the white left. Ideally, I would have liked to have more of the charcoal because there is a hat in this pattern that has like a nice brim going and then a pom-pom on top that looks really cool. And it would be nice to maybe make a matching hat for this sweater. I love wearing hats, knitted hats, any kind of hat really. So I might do that. There's also knee-high socks in this pattern. There's mittens in this pattern. There's lots. So, but I think I would make the hat and wear it skiing and have like a whole outfit. Maybe also have to do the mittens and socks, and then all I need are some knickers. Not the English knickers, but like the skiing knickers that we have here. That would be so cool. All right, enough gushing about my dream knit. If you have something that you've been dreaming about knitting, join our Dream Knit KAL on Instagram. I'm running it all of 2023, and I hope to find some prizes for the end of the year for you. Whips, new cast-ons, anything's allowed. And I just need a little bit of tea. Okay, so maybe start with whips that you have seen and then some new whips. Okay, so this is a whip. You've seen it. If you've been here, if you're new, hi. This is a blanket, shawl, blanket something that I've cast on with some old stash yarn, some Manos del Uruguay yarn. It's very thin, 700 or 800 meters per 100 grams. I've done a few rows, but you can't really see it because there's so many stitches. 360, I think, and it's very thin. So I'll talk about this when I have more progress. But what I have made some progress on, which is also a thinner yarn whip, is my Cumulus tee by Petite Knit. So I have made 3 Cumulus tees before, and I wanted to make a black one with longer sleeves. So I have gotten quite a bit further on the body. So if I hold it up, you can see it's getting there. For the 2 first that I made, I used the talvinen. The 3rd version, I used a bottle green Bambino from Viking Garn. And I just love that one. I think my favorite summer fiber is cotton and bamboo 50-50. I have now felt this combination in, I think, 4 different brands, and they're all beautiful. I love the feeling of them. They're so buttery. They don't have that dry cotton feeling. So yeah, this is what I'm using. I have started this bowl, and I have at least 2 more. I don't know if I have more than that. I have lost track of how many skeins I've used this far. I think I've used at least 2 skeins, and I'm on my 3rd. That way, I think I have 3 left. So I have either 2 left or 3 left after this one. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to finish the body until the length that I would like to have it as if I were to have this, this was a lot of ass, I'll have it as a sweater or as a t-shirt. And then I'm going to do the sleeves because I want to do the sleeves long sleeved, I think. And then I was contemplating making it into a dress, a black summer dress. I think that would be so nice. And then have like a little belt because this has no shaping whatsoever. So with this sweater, t-shirt, dress, I have a little bit of decision making to do. And yeah, sometimes I'm just out of decisions, if you know what I mean. But as long as I'm kind of on the, I'm just gonna knit it until it's an okay length for a top, then do the sleeves long, then I can make the decision based on how much yarn I have left and if I like how it looks or not. Decisions later, not now, just knitting now. Happy, mindless, in the round stockinette knitting. This does pill a little bit though, so I think that's the bamboo and the softness of it. It has a bit of pilling, so keep that in mind. Not that the garment has pills, but I don't know, it sheds fibers onto my hands and clothes. So that was a whip. I have also joined a color on my crochet blanket. This is a very long-term project, and I've joined a little bit of a new color. So I finished 4 rows of the brown, and I've joined a bluish green Malabrigo yarn, which is merino nylon superwash. So yeah, not much to say about this. Just a nice scrappy project. So I'm just kind of rushing through the things that I haven't done that much on since last time. And I want to show you something you haven't seen. I'm gonna take it out of the plastic bag so there's no crinkles. Okay. So last year I made the Guernsey Genser by Sandnes Garn in Nutiden held together with Isager. And these were the 2 colors. And I think that might just be my favorite sweater. I love the color. I love the huge, oversized, like intentionally huge, oversized look. I think it's really nice. It's super warm, super soft. I like to layer it. It's just great. It's cozy. I did run out of yarn for that one though, and someone very generously sent me their leftovers. And after finishing the sweater, I still had a bit left. And I also had 2 plus a little bit left of the silk mohair. I think I ordered an extra one because I thought I had lost one, but then it was just under the couch. Does that happen to you as well? Anyways, so I had some silk mohair left, and I had a little bit of the Nutiden left. And the sweater held the Nutiden double, but I thought that with the leftovers that I still had, holding it single, it would go a long way. Because I had also made the Amy pullover from Sannes Garn last year from the same magazine, using the Hillesvåg roving, and it used so little yarn. So I cast on and started another Amy slipover in this color, and it's all crinkled because I've been keeping it in the little plastic bag that I've kept the leftovers in to protect it from moths. I don't have a moth problem, but if I were to have one, I would store everything in closed containers or zipper bags. For now, I kind of have things out and about as well, but I do keep some things safely hidden so that if I get attacked, it's not all lost. So this is how far I have gotten. I knit the back piece first, so that's knit top down, and then you pick up stitches on the shoulders. I'm not going to say too much because it's a paid for pattern. You pick up stitches for the shoulders and you knit down and you do the body. And then what I have left to do, so I did this in 2 days. It's quite a speedy knit, but it is knit back and forth. So half the project is purling, be aware. And I've used 1 strand of the Nutiden, which is an unspun yarn, together with 1 strand of the silk mohair, which adds a lot of strength. So I'm not too worried about tensioning and stuff. It makes it easier to knit with for me. It's a little bit thick and thin somewhere because of the unspun tending to thin out and almost break, but the silk mohair kind of keeps it all there. And when it's knit up, it's a beautiful fabric and I'm not worried about it unraveling or anything. So what I have left to do is to pick up stitches and do a very long neck, rib neck, and pick up stitches on the sides and do a very long ribbed band on each sides that can then be tied in bow ties underneath my armholes. So very happy to soon have another Amy slipover. That's probably my most worn item from last year because it's a great thing to just throw over as a layering piece. It's perfect when you're traveling because it takes very little space and weight, but you have that extra warm layer to put on, and it looks cool with different items. So this is my second one, and I also want to make a light colored one, like a white, beige, or light gray. So I have like 3 different looks, like color, dark, and light. So yes, very happy with this one. So I have this left of the silk mohair, should be enough, and this should be enough. And when I'm done, I'll weigh it and see how much it weighs. Probably less than 200 grams in total when it's done. So yeah, very happy with it. Highly recommend the pattern. And I think the magazine is also available in English if you can just find a retailer that carries it. I think I've gotten my needles ready for the neckline already. So maybe that's what I'm knitting on tonight. I have mohair in my lip gloss. Okay. Another whip, which you have not seen, is this. And it's almost finished. This is another pattern by Sunnis Garn. I bought this yarn in Bergen, and I think, yeah, this is what I have left of my second ball of yarn, and then I have less than half of the third ball of yarn. So going back, I bought this yarn in Bergen when my grandmother passed away. As a little cheer me up, I saw this color and it made me really happy. It reminds me of forget-me-nots. The light blue and, I don't know, lavendery tones reminds me of forget-me-nots. And I bought 3 skeins of it and 2 50-gram balls of fenul from Rauma. And the intention was to make the Farnham sweater. But when I made the swatch, I realized that the contrast between the white and, let's see where it's going to go. The contrast between the white and this wasn't very popping, and the Farnham sweater has quite thin stripes. So I was looking into 2 patterns, the Farnham and the Abbey Genser or Abbey sweater by Sunnis Garn. And I already had this pattern, so I decided to go for this one. They both use approximately the same amount of yarn, the same gauge-ish. So I went for this one with the thicker stripes to make it a little bit more contrasty. The reason I have knit so much and gotten this far is because I've been playing Yarn Chicken, and Yarn Chicken stresses me out a little bit. So I've kind of been knitting on it quite monogamously. To find out if I have enough yarn or not. And I think I might have enough. If I'm running out, I actually don't think it's going to be the indie dyed yarn. I think I might be running out of the fenul because I still have a sleeve to go. So there's quite a few white stripes that I need to do and the little white down here. And I have this left. We'll see. This one is easy to come by though. This is a commercial Norwegian yarn, 100% sorry, wool. So even if it's not the same dye lot, it's not going to be a huge difference. Oh, I'm eating mohair. It's not going to be a huge difference, even if it's a different dye lot, since it's commercial yarn. So I had approximately this much left of one ball when I did this sleeve, and I'm still using up the last bit of it on the first sleeve, and I've done a stripe already. So I think it should be fine. But we'll see. For the body, I alternated 2 skeins every other stripe. There is a lot of ends to weave in. Because of the way it's constructed. You start and end in a different place every time you do a new stripe. So for this color, you have to break the yarn and start again. And since I am also alternating between the skeins for each stripe, there's more ends for me to weave in. The third skein was more purple, so I used that for the bottom rib, which is a twisted rib. So twisted knit stitches on one side, and then on the other side you have to do the twisted purl stitches, so be aware. I had done the neckline first with the third skein, thinking that would be enough for both the neckline and the bottom. It wasn't. So when I had a few rows left on the bottom here, I had to unravel the neckline because I didn't want this ribbing to be more purpley and then all of a sudden on the bottom be more light blue. So I unraveled the neckline, which is also twisted rib, to do that. And then I did the neckline again with the one of the two which had more purple in it, only to realize as I finished the neckline that I had redone the neckline with the wrong needle size. But I was not gonna unpick it. I think it's fine. I might unpick it when I finish the sleeve if I try it on and I think the neckline looks weird, because I did do the neckline of like, I think 3 rows less than recommended, because I thought it was flaring out with the first neckline that I did. So for this one I think I picked up the smallest size when it comes to stitches, while I knit the 3rd size for the body. So I did the smallest size for the neckline in amount of stitches to pick up, and then I knitted a little bit shorter as well, so it doesn't stand out that much, but I also used too big of a needle, so we'll see. I'll try it, and if I'm happy with it, I'm happy with it. If not, I can unpick it and do it again, because I've already done this much knitting. It's a lot of knitting in this sweater. It's big. I will block the bottom out so it kind of goes straight down. I don't like it to cinch in. So yeah, that is where I'm at. The Abby sweater, and I'm using 3.5 millimeter needles. The neckline should have been done with 3. I didn't. My mistake. But I do think I'm going to be able to finish with the colored yarn, which I didn't say. This is Fjord Fibers, which is a Norwegian indie dyer from Bergen. Fjord Fibers, and the color is Unicorn Dreams. It's 350 meters per 100 grams. Now I thought this might be the same base as Rauma Fino because it felt exactly the same, and the meterage was the same, but this is actually a base which is 80% wool and 20% polyester, while the fino is 100% wool, but it feels exactly the same. It knits up exactly the same. The fino is of course cheaper because it's commercial, while this is indie dyed, but I think they work really well together, and yeah, not my typical color, but with the blonde hair, I think it's gonna be nice, and it's gonna be a great layering piece in the summer, I think, for like the chillier evenings and on top of dresses. That is kind of the vibe I am going for. So yes, my Abby sweater, almost done, just the sleeve and maybe the neckline for the 3rd time. We'll see. We'll see. I almost forgot to show you the progress on my talvinen. This is a beautiful sweater by Caitlin Hunter. The yarn was gifted to me by Biche et Bouche, the Le Petits Lambs wool, and it's just so pretty. Now, this was lingering for a bit because I struggle with making decisions again of how long to knit the body, how long to knit the sleeves, how much of the color work do I want to do I want to change it. I know I want to change all of it on the bottom. So I finally got around to knitting on the sleeves. So I knit on the sleeves yesterday, and I have done the color work minus the color work which is in the orange. So for the chart, I skipped the first part of the chart and I just did the bottom in this beige color that I used, and it has some little bobbly stitches. So right now this is maybe here on my sleeve when I have it on, something like that, maybe something like this. So it's not full length. And again, I'm struggling with decisions because I tried it on and I kind of liked the sleeves at that length, which is weird for me. I don't usually. I also kind of like the body at the very cropped length that it is now, because I was wearing this dress underneath and it just hit the waist perfectly. but it would be too short for jeans. Like it would only work with dresses, and that's not what I'm going for. And I do want to have some color work on the bottom of the body. So, not being ready to commit to a decision, I put the stitches on hold after doing just a few rows of color work. So I'm going to do the other sleeve to the same length. And then I'm going to do the body maybe, and then decide, do I like the sleeves shorter, or do I want to have the long ribbing down to here that I initially was going for. So I haven't decided. I might keep it shorter. I might do the long ribbing that I was thinking of. For the bottom of the body, I think I'm going to try it on again and see how long I think it will be with the ribbing and how much of the color work I want to do. I think I might just want to do the part of the color work that looks like these little leafy tree kind of things on the bottom and omit the orange part again. It's quite a lot of color work in the original version, but I do want a more cropped one. And I think I might just want to do those. So kind of have the bottom of the sleeves and the body more simple, since there's so much going on up here and I want this to be the focus. I am knitting this more oversized than recommended. I think I'm making the 5th size. And I tried it on and I love how it's fitting. Love it. And the needle size I'm using is 3.25. I think I used 3.5 for the color work, but I do mention that in previous episodes if you want the exact specifics, because I forget. So that is the talvinen. So pretty. Look at this color work. I love it. I love the fabric this is making, and I want to make all the things in the La Petite Lamb's wool. It's just so beautiful. But it's also very thin yarn, so I mean, it takes a long time to knit, but I did pretty much this much knitting yesterday because I had started a little bit of the sleeve before, but then I also did this yesterday. So all in all, I did this in a full day of knitting, which isn't too bad considering how thin the yarn is. And I just love knitting on it. So yes, some decisions need to be made, but we can make them slowly. That is okay. So that is all of the things that I have been knitting on, I think, which is enough, I think. But I do have some exciting news to share with you. Have you heard about eweknit in Toronto? Eweknit and Craft? I've seen that as a handle as well. But eweknit in Toronto, they are eweknitto on Instagram, asked me if I wanted to collaborate with them on their new book. So this arrived today. I will be joining on their make-along for their Catedral sweater or Catedral Pullover. I need to double check what they call it. They call the KAL the Catedral KAL, and it's starting on the 9th of June. And I'll put all the information below, but I will be joining in because they have published a book together with Lane Publishing. So it's published by Lane Publishing, but the author of the book is Claudia, which is the owner of eweknit. And I'm gonna open this and show you what's inside. I'm so strong. All right, so I managed to rip the brown tape open and I can show you inside. It's so pretty. So as you can see, I'll be knitting the Catedral or Cathedral? Catedral sweater in this beautiful creamy color. And this yarn was gifted to me along with the book which they have released, which is the Making Memories. And let's see if I can take the book out to show you. The kit that I'm making is the adult version of one of the patterns in the book, the Cathedral sweater. And, oh, this is beautiful. This is the beautiful Making Memories by Lane Publishing. So it has the beautiful sort of linen hard copy cover that a lot of the books from Lane Publishing has, in a beautiful green color this time. And it's called The Making Memories Timeless Knits for Children. The author is Claudia, and her last name, I don't know how to pronounce. I am so sorry, but I think it's Quintanilla. And she's based in Toronto. And the owner behind eweknit, who sent me the book and the yarn to join for the KAL. And I've already seen a lot of these photos online, which are gorgeous. If you want to have a look, all of these photos are on both the eweknit website and on Ravelry if you want to preview the patterns before getting them. And I can just show you some of the beautiful photography. And there is a discount code right now from eweknit that gives you 20% off. It's called the Catedral KAL. Catedral KAL gives you 20% off. And they have kits for more than one yarn quantity. So the yarn that I am going to be knitting in is the Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino in the cream colorway, or fløde in Danish/Norwegian. So this is 100% non-superwash merino. And there are other combinations that can be used for this sweater. I see if I can't find the child's version of the Cathedral sweater. So yeah, you can join in on the KAL if you want to. It starts the 9th of June. And you can use the discount code. I am also going to be hosting a little giveaway in this episode where you can win the book and a kit for a children's sized sweater. And all you have to do is like this video, subscribe to my channel, and comment below which pattern from eweknit you would like to knit. So it could either be a pattern from this book, but they also have lovely free patterns on their website and Ravelry, along with other patterns that you could be knitting on. So here you can see me just like going through the book, and you can't see. I am so sorry. But look at how cute these photos are. Since I'm unboxing it now, I don't know where in the book the Cathedral sweater is. So I kind of just have to go through it and look, and hopefully I can find it soon. Look how cute. Let's see. There it is. So this is the Cathedral sweater for children. I will be making the adult version. They have other patterns in here that also has an adult version in their store. So if you want to make something matching with a child, that is a possibility. I have a lot of people in my life with children, so this book is perfect for gift knits. It's a nice mix of details and simplicity, very timeless knits. And let's see if you can. So here you can see a cream kind of version. So mine is going to be an adult sized of that. There's 25 patterns in this book, and they go from newborn to 10 years old. So lots of great things to be knit. And the photography, it's just really a beautiful book that you can have as a coffee table book if you'd like. So yes, I will be joining the knit along on June 9th. Feel free to join me if you like. Catedral KAL is the code from eweknit for a 20% discount. I will be showing you my progress on my podcast, so I kind of give you my experience as I knit on it. And comment below which pattern you would like to make so that I can draw a winner for the giveaway. There will be at least one winner for a kit for a child size and a book. And then I'm unsure if there will also be another book for a second prize or not. I will have to clear that up with Eweknit Toronto. But I will not be commenting in the comments below if you've won or not. So don't be fooled if there's any bots out there trying to trick people. I will never ask you for any kind of information. I will post the winner on screen in the next video and have you contact me on Instagram so that it's all nice and safe. And then Eweknit will send you the prize directly. So I will hook you up with them as well. So that is it. I'm really excited to cast this on. I haven't tried this yarn before. I think for the adult size, one of the versions carries 2 strands, so like a silk mohair with something else that I think might be Isager, maybe. I think that on Eweknit you can get kits for the Cathedral sweater, both with the KFO heavy merino, and I also saw, I haven't heard about this before, it was Emilia Filanere? Something, I can't read my own writing, but you can check them out on Instagram and they will have information there if you're interested. So I'm gonna be knitting, I think the 4th size, because I think I'm in between the 3rd and 4th size. So that's what I'm gonna do. And another exciting news, they sent me a beautiful loom to try. I'm just very honored. I have been dabbling a little bit with weaving last year on a child-sized loom, which was a great way of using up scraps, but setting it up and the process wasn't very pleasant because it was very, the tension wasn't good and it was quite small. And anyways, I've been wanting to weave ever since watching the Republic of Me and her beautiful shawls that she's made. So Eweknit does not only design and carry yarn in their store, they have other crafts as well. And one of them is weaving. So this loom was gifted to me. I want to be open about that and clear. And if I can hold it up so you can see, I set it up yesterday. So it's all ready now to start weaving. And it looks so nice. I think a lot better than what I had before. I got the knitter's loom, the 20-inch from Ashford. I measured from side to side and it's around 48 centimeters the way that it's set up right now. So I think that's going to be the width of whatever fabric I create. So it came with a little pamphlet of how to set it up. And I followed it step by step and it was a life changer compared to what I had done before. It was a very nice and smooth process. It takes a lot of time still. It took me 2 hours from beginning to end, but it was a lot more pleasant than what I've done before. So I'm not scared off from doing the setup again. I used some Holst Super Soft for the threads that I've used, which apparently I don't know any terminology. It's the warp and weft. So I used Holst Super Soft for the warp, and I have not decided what I'm going to use for the weft. I'm going to look at what I have in my stash. I think I want to make, since I managed, I hope, to set it up with a good tension, I want to make something maybe with one color as a shawl. I do at some point want to make one with leftovers. I want to make one with hand spun, but maybe first I'm just going to practice with one of my cones or something. So yeah, all set up and ready to start weaving. So I wanted to share that with you so you can see the progress. I know there are other people out there, knitters, who also like to weave. And this is a knitter's loom, so I think it's going to be perfect for me to use my knitting yarn on it as well. So that was some acquisitions. I also went to visit my grandmother, so I had knit her a sweater, which I showed in the previous episode, a blue one from Fable Knitwear. I knit the medium, which was the size recommended for the size she is, but it was way too small. I made it like 10 centimeters longer and it was still too short on her back, kind of, so her lower back was naked, which she's not gonna wear it, so that was a bummer. But I gave it to my cousin, or I left it behind for my cousin to try on and see if it fits her better. So it's gonna get used, I hope. I will make her something else in the future. Maybe I'll make her a kufta, like a colorwork kufta or something instead. I'll make her something that I pick out that I know is gonna fit either way. So this was a pattern she picked out kind of in a hurry over text messages. So I kind of knew as I was knitting on it that this was negative ease and she can try it on under ways, and yes. Next time I'm gonna pick something that I know is gonna fit and it's gonna be great. I don't know when I'm gonna get around to it, but at some point. And so she is a knitter. She's the one who taught me to knit, but she doesn't really knit that much anymore. She mainly knits socks, and she has a lot of old pattern books that she said she doesn't use anymore. I've gotten a few in the past, and I got some more when I visited her now. And I really like the look of all these vintage stuff. Of course, not absolutely everything in the pattern books are things that I would like to make, but I did find some cute things that I think would make great patterns. Let's see. Where is... So a lot of the pattern books that I got were like baby knits, which I feel like they never really go out of fashion. They're kind of timeless knits. Yeah, lots of baby books. She has a lot of those, so I got some of those. And I got this one, which is knit in Letlopi, and I have a lot of Letlopi in my stash. This is called After, so I thought it was just a really pretty yoke design, so I got this book from her. She had a very old pamphlet book with no colors. It was a bit difficult to see what the patterns look like. They're knit in a yarn called Magnolia. I don't know, but I thought this looked like a pretty cool colorwork sweater or jackets. So I got this one as well. There's another one. I think I will have to do some research online and see if I can't find some colored pictures of them to see. And this one I also got. So Selma's sleeping suit, is that what it's called by Petite Knit? A lot of people in Scandinavia are knitting those for gifts for people who are having babies. And I saw this. So this is a much older pattern, but essentially it looks very similar to the sleeping suit, but this one has open feet and arms so that the children can play in it. So it's from 1 to 3 years, while the people I know have made the Selma suit has made it for more of the first year of life, for sleeping in car seats and stuff. So this one is for bigger children, 1 to 3 years old, so they can play around. And I thought it was really cute. So I had that in mind when I went to my grandmother's local yarn store, which is Garnia's, and they had this yarn on sale from Drops, which is Wish, and it had the right meterage for for this one, which is knit in a yarn that's called Alta, which is no longer in production. I think it was quite a thick yarn. So I got this one to make it. I don't know who's gonna be getting it, but there's plenty of people with children, so yeah. I will be making that in the future. I have enough of this to make, I think, the first size. I think that's what I got enough for. And it's quite soft. This is 50% alpaca, 33% cotton, and 17% wool. So I'm hoping it's gonna hold that nice. We'll see. So that was my last acquisition and everything that I have to talk to you about today. I hope that you're well. I hope that you're making all the things that make you happy. Again, everything will be below with link to eweknit and where you can get the book, the discount code if you want to join for the KAL. If you want to win a giveaway prize, which could be the book or the book in a kit, comment below which pattern of theirs you would like to make. I'll link their Ravelry patterns and their website patterns below as well. And I will pick a winner and announce the winner on the next video on screen. And yeah, I think that is all that I wanted to say today. I always forget something and then remember it afterwards, but I hope it's not too long until I record again and then I can let you know if I forgot something. And otherwise, yeah, I love reading your comments and I love chatting on Instagram and seeing what you're making on the Dream Knit KAL hashtag. And yeah, I highly appreciate you and this community. And on that note, I will talk to you next time. Bye!